Success is something we all want, isn't it? But here's what most people don't understand about success. It's not just about having a goal. It's not just about having a plan. It's about having something else, something more powerful, something that separates those who make it from those who don't. And that something is what I call the until formula. The until formula is simple, but don't mistake simple for easy. Here it is. You work on your goal until you achieve it. Not until you get tired. Not until you get discouraged. Not until your friends think you're crazy. Not until it gets hard. Until you succeed. That's the formula. That's the secret. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Let me ask you something. How many times have you started something with great enthusiasm only to quit when things got tough? How many dreams have you abandoned because the road was longer than you expected? How many goals have you let slip away because you didn't have the until formula working in your life? See, most people operate on the until it gets hard formula. They work until it gets uncomfortable, until it gets challenging, until people start criticizing them, until the money runs out, until they face their first failure. But that's not how success works. Success demands more. Success demands that you stay in the game until you win. Now, let me tell you something important. The until formula isn't about being stubborn. It's not about doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. That's insanity. The until formula is about commitment combined with flexibility. It's about saying, I will reach this destination while being willing to adjust your route along the way. Think of it like this. If you're driving from California to New York and you hit a roadblock, you turn around and go home? Of course not. You find another route. You go around. You adapt. But you don't change your destination. That's the until formula. The goal stays fixed. The methods can change. Let me share something from my own life. When I was 25 years old, I was broke. And I mean broke. Nothing in the bank, nothing in my pocket, and not much hope for the future. I could have stayed there. I could have said, well, I guess this is just my lot in life. But then I met my mentor, Mr. Shove, and he taught me something that changed everything. He said, Jim, if you want things to change, you have to change. If you want things to get better, you have to get better. And then he taught me the until formula, though he didn't call it that. He taught me to work on my goals until they were achieved. Not until I felt like it. Not until it was convenient. Until they were achieved. So I started working on myself. I read books until I became educated. I practiced new skills until they became habits. I met with successful people until their thinking rubbed off on me. I saved money until I had capital. I built my business until it succeeded. That's the until formula in action. Now, here's what happens when you adopt the until formula in your life. First, you stop being a quitter. You know what a quitter is? Someone who stops too soon. They plant seeds but don't water them long enough. They start the race but don't finish. They get 90% of the way there and turn back. Don't be that person. The until formula makes you a finisher. Second, you develop incredible strength. Every time you push through and you want to quit, you build your persistence muscle. Every time you say, I'm staying until this is done, you become stronger, and that strength compounds over time until you become virtually unstoppable. Third, you inspire others. When people see someone who refuses to quit, who keeps going no matter what, it does something to them. It challenges them. It inspires them. It shows them what's possible. Your until formula becomes a light for others to follow. But let me warn you, the until formula will be tested. Life has a way of testing your commitment. It will throw obstacles in your path. It will send people to discourage you. It will create circumstances that make you want to quit. That's not life being cruel. That's life making sure you really want what you say you want. Think about it. If success came easy, everyone would have it. But success doesn't go to everyone. It goes to those who are willing to work until they get it. It goes to those who can look failure in the face and say, you're not stopping me. I'm going until I succeed. Let me give you some practical ways to implement the until formula in your life. First, get crystal clear on what you want. You can't work until you succeed. If you don't know what success looks like, write it down. Make it specific. Make it measurable. Make it so clear that you'll know without a doubt when you've achieved it. Vague goals produce vague results. Clear goals combined with the until formula produce extraordinary results. Second, count the cost before you start. Jesus said this, and it's brilliant advice: count the cost. Before you commit on any goal, ask yourself, am I willing to pay the price? Because there is a price. There's a price in time, in effort, in sacrifice, in delayed gratification. Count that cost. And if you're willing to pay it, then commit. Once you commit, don't look back. Third, develop daily disciplines. The until formula isn't just about the big goal. It's about what you do every single day. You need daily disciplines that move you toward your goal. Read until you see the results in your life. Practice until you're skilled. Save until you have the capital. Work until you're successful. But it all happens one day at a time. Here's something most people miss. Success is built in the daily routine. It's not the big dramatic moments that make you successful. It's what you do when nobody's watching. It's getting up early when you don't feel like it. It's doing the work when you'd rather watch television. It's staying disciplined when everyone else is being lazy. That's where the until formula really lives, in the mundane, daily decisions. Fourth, track your progress. You need to see that you're moving forward. Keep a journal. Record your efforts. Celebrate small wins. This does two things. It shows you that you're moving toward your goals, and it motivates you to keep going. Progress is the greatest motivator. Fifth, surround yourself with ambitious people. You need people around you who don't quit. You need people who understand persistence, who value determination, who respect commitment. Stay away from quitters. Stay away from people who bail at the first sign of trouble. Their attitudes are contagious, and you can't afford to catch what they have. Let me tell you about the power of just one more time. Often, success is just one more try away. You make one more call and get the sale. You submit one more application and get the job. You try one more approach and solve the problem. But most people quit one try too soon. They stop right before the breakthrough. Don't be that person. The until formula says you keep going one more time, and then one more time after that, until you succeed. Here's another critical element. You must learn from your failures along the way. The until formula doesn't mean you repeat the same mistakes over and over. It means you stay committed to your goal while getting smarter about how to achieve it. Every failure teaches you something. Every setback reveals information. Use it, adjust, improve, but don't quit. Thomas Edison tried thousands of times before he invented the light bulb. Thousands. When someone asked him how it felt to fail so many times, he said he didn't fail, he just found thousands of ways that didn't work. That's the until formula. He worked until he succeeded. And because he did, we have light at the flip of a switch. Abraham Lincoln lost election after election before becoming president, but he kept going until he won. The until formula. Every successful person you admire has the until formula working in their life. They decided what they wanted, and they stayed with it until they got it. That's not luck. That's not talent. That's commitment. That's the until formula. Now, let me give you the hard truth. The until formula requires sacrifice. You'll sacrifice comfort. You'll sacrifice immediate gratification. You might sacrifice relationships with people who don't understand your commitment. You'll sacrifice being average. But here's what you gain. You gain your dreams. You gain your goal. You gain self-respect. You gain the knowledge that you're capable of seeing something through to the end. And let me tell you something about self-respect. It's priceless. When you know you can commit to something until it's done, when you know you're not a quitter, when you know you have what it takes to persist until you succeed, that changes everything. It changes how you see yourself. It changes how others see you. It changes what you're willing to attempt. The until formula gives you power. It gives you the power to shape your life, to determine your future, to become who you want to become. Without it, you're at the mercy of circumstances. With it, you're the master of your fate. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one goal, just one, and apply the until formula to it. Commit right now that you will work on this goal until you achieve it. Not until it gets hard. Not until you're tired. Not until you face obstacles. Until you achieve it. Write it down. Make it specific. Count the cost. Commit to it. Then get to work, and don't stop until it's done. Years from now, you'll look back at this moment as the turning point. This is where you stopped being a dabbler and became a finisher. This is where you stopped being someone who tries and became someone who succeeds. This is where you learn the until formula. Success is not for the faint of heart. It's not for those who quit when things get tough. But it is for you if you're willing to work until you get it. That's the formula. That's the secret. That's the art of never giving up until you succeed. The question is, are you willing? Are you willing to commit? Are you willing to persist? I believe you are. I believe you have greatness inside you. I believe you can achieve remarkable things. But belief isn't enough. You must combine belief with action and persistence. You must work until you succeed. So go do it. Start tomorrow. Start today. Start right now. Pick your goal. Make your commitment. And work until you win. That's the until formula. And it will change your life.